Hey folks, Rob with you. So, just finished watching the movie Courageous. It's a Pureflix movie, but for a Christian movie, it's probably one of the best, if not maybe the best Christian movie produced. And there's a lot of super cheesy Christian movies, and wasn't one of them. Like had a good storyline. It was well done, and this is one of those movies that gets you in the feels too. Um, if you can watch the movie Courageous and it doesn't get you in the feels, like, well, there's some disconnect with you. um, yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you can watch the movie Courageous and it doesn't get you in the feels every so often, then yeah, there's some disconnect with you, and I'll just leave it at that. So, anyways, um, but it's a movie that if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's really a movie, um, and it really emphasizes the responsibility of men. I mean, even if you're not a father, like just the responsibility that men has placed in the lives of men to be an example of godly integrity, especially if you're a married man, or if you're a married man, or if you're a married man with kids, then the responsibility that God places on you is demonstrably high. Like God expects a lot from men, and even if like for myself, right now when I'm currently single, God still expects a lot of me to be an example of godly integrity and so on, to be a person of moral integrity, personal integrity. And I make myself like I'm accountable to one of my brothers financially. I'm accountable to a mentor personally, and that's the thing too. Is like if you're a man, like to make yourself accountable to people is very important. Um, of course, if you're a married man with kids, then you're obviously responsible to your wife and your children. But we're also responsible to even if you're not married, like I am. Like firstly, like I'm not married and I don't have kids. Um, I still have a responsibility to be an example of godly integrity um, to the world around me, to people in my life. Like I have nephews and nieces, and I'm called to be. I want to be an example of godly integrity to my nephews and nieces, right? Um, so there's that. So it just yeah, it's a good. It's again the movie's called Courageous. Highly recommend it. It's one of those movies that'll definitely get you in the feels. And if it doesn't get you in the feels, then again, I'm just gonna say there's some disconnect with you, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Um, and yeah, so just one of the it's one of those films that really emphasizes the responsibility that God places on men to lead and lead well, whether that's at work or whether it's at home or church or some combination thereof. God expects a lot from men, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Weak men produce weak societies, weak cities, weak countries, and so on and so forth. But strong men, and by strong I mean like strong men who have strength of character, but usually men who have strength of character are strong in other areas too. Um, so integrity, honesty, ambition, take initiative, serve your wives, serve your children, serve your employer, serve your employees. Be an example. Have a servant heart. God calls us into Christ to be men of integrity who serve and love our wives and children. If you're married or have children or both, um, and even if you're not called, you're still called. We're all called to serve. All right. We function. Men and women function in different roles, but we're still called to serve each other, and it's important. that we exemplify the heart of the Father to the world around us. So the world is drawn to the Christ in us by our example of love and humility. It's my prayer that we would be men of integrity who accept the call of God in Christ and live on fire like Christ is going to come back any moment. Peace out, Brother Rob.